Item A, update on First Street reconstruction project.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you know, at the last meeting, we had the public hearing on the feasibility report for the First Street project, and you subsequently authorized preparation of detailed plans and specifications for the bidding. We're working on those. They were right on track. We were anticipating we would bring them back to you at your meeting in January, your regular meeting in January, for consideration of approval and setting of a bid date so that we can solicit bids for that project. Everything is still consistent with what we had reviewed in the feasibility report. We've got a couple of specific detailed questions we've still got to review with Public Works and with KMU as we develop the plans. And then we'll be reviewing the plans with them once we get them drafted, so we can get their feedback and comments on the plans and bring them to you as complete as possible at the January meeting.
Thank you. And the next item is update on the fire facility project. For the audience.
For the sake of the audience, yes, we just had a work session to discuss the fire station project. Spent the last hour talking about that. The brief update is the schematic design was authorized by the council at their October meeting. The schematic design is essentially completed. We now have a more detailed cost estimate based on the floor plan and the building elevations that were developed as part of the schematic design. The current estimated construction cost, the current estimated total project cost for that project that was developed through schematic design is $2.9 million roughly. That compares to about $2.54 million that we had used as a planning estimate back in September, and was kind of the target that we were shooting for in the project. So we talked about the project as it was currently estimated and some options that could be developed to create flexibility in the project to give the city the ability to, if it chooses to move forward with the project and prepare plans and solicit bids, options for it to have flexibility so that it can control the cost and eliminate certain elements of the project if necessary in order to bring that total project cost down to something that the city feels is justifiable. So the next stage in the fire station project would be a public hearing that's scheduled for next Tuesday, December 15th, I believe at 5:30 p.m.
Correct.
And that's where the public is invited to come in and provide comment on the project. We'll have the renderings of the building available for review by the public at that time. Following that public hearing, there'll be a special city council meeting where we'll continue the discussion that we started tonight, and the council can consider whether or not it wants to continue with the project development.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
And I believe that covers that, so we can move on to legal. Minor subdivision, Festival Farms.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. You have before you a resolution 2015-24. It was a draft resolution that was in your packet. I have a new version that I'll pass down. We've been waiting final certificate of survey as well as legal descriptions to fill everything in. It appears that that's what we received earlier today, and it's the draft now before you. It does have the before legal descriptions, the after legal descriptions of the two parcels that are being split, or they're being requested to be split. One is within the city limits, one is right on abutting the eastern edge of the city limits, but is within our ordinance since the subdivision regulations in the city extend 2 miles out from the city. So both those are required to be split, and that's the descriptions you now have in the exhibits. B is the original, and C are the actual ones that are being subdivided. So upon adoption, this is provided to the owner and the purchaser, and then we can move forward and have a lot split recorded and conduct their transaction and sale. Fairly routine. You've done these, a few times every year. You do them multiple times a year.
We have a motion to approve Resolution 2015-24.
I make a motion that we approve resolution number 2015-24.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. So, financial is a consent agenda item, so we move on to old business, which the principals came in just in time for. Possible sale of city-owned parking lot west of Ace Hardware Store.
Last month, the council talked about the possible sale of 2 parcels which are west of the Ace Hardware Store. They're currently parking lots to the owners of the hardware store. We received a formal offer letter of $15,000 from them, and the appraised valuation, or the county's valuation for tax purposes is $24,500. So basically, there's really no comparables to speak of. There's no, short of an appraisal, there's really no comparables to look at when you look at this type of parcel. So basically, there's really no numbers to say, well, this is what a comparable is, and this and that. Nothing we have is what the county is valued at. So I guess I don't have any guidance along those lines. I would suspect the county's valuation is somewhat high on this, based on the location of the parcels and the current use. Really, that's a subjective thing. So.
Now, this would include the property up to the building, next building to the west, which is currently some of it being used as parking by the tenants in those apartments above.
Correct, and that's been that way for a long time. So
Right.
tenants in that, those apartments would use that, and in this offer, the buyers have told me verbally that they would still allow them to park there. And whether you want to put something in as a condition of sale or something to that effect, you certainly could ask Scott.
That certainly could be done. You could have a covenant, but it depends if the city wants to be in the enforcement business of doing that.
I don't think it's necessary because we don't do have parking behind. Right, and it's up to the property owner really to furnish parking for the tenants. Here's the case where they just, over the years, they've just been using it.
So it's more convenient for them.
Exactly.
But they do have parking between the back of the building and the alley, so knowing these people, I don't think they're going to go out and bust anyone's chops over it.
Plus, there's employees at other businesses that park there, isn't there? I kind of got a question, probably I don't deserve an answer, but since it is a business area, and that, is there any idea what we can expect that to be used for, parking only, or is there a possibility of expansion of the building, or something of that sort? Okay.
What would the city save by eating over their ownership and their responsibility for that piece of property, such as plowing or maintenance?
We wouldn't have to maintain it anymore.
Yes, right.
So, I mean, I haven't looked at that to say how many hours a year in maintenance, but obviously that would save money and also pay property taxes.
Right, we get,
It'd be a huge
that would
you
be a lump sum
tax,
payment, then
unless we would get whatever.
property taxes in the future, a little bit of saving on hauling it.
But it just makes sense. So, with that being said, I make a motion that we sell the 2 lots to the owners of King Ace Hardware with no stipulations, except that what's written up there as far as the real estate tax and so forth. Right.
accepting the offer with the letter that they sent off, setting the conditions and
15,000,
15,000.
which is what, 9,000 less than appraised?
What's that
yes,
appraised, what the county has?
assessed.
That's different.
Assessed is much different than appraised.
Yes, okay. So have we gotten an assessment on
We haven't
Other
got
than-
an appraisal, we just
No.
have the assessed value of the county.
it? Yeah.
So I will second Fred's motion and call for a vote.
And if I might add, could your motion be reduced to a resolution because it'll allow us to pass title with the title standards? Typically want a resolution for providing that, and Mark and I can put that together after the meeting. That's fine.
It's torn, so.
Yeah, so we definitely will need a
That would
resolution.
be resolution number,
25?
no, 25 is already down.
Oh, okay.
26 presumably.
That's fine, we'll put that together, that's fine.
One other comment, and that is this came up before to a previous owner, and it was voted down at that point. I can't remember exactly why.
It wasn't voted down.
No.
It was never voted on.
The offer was made, I believe, and then he changed his mind.
Ah, that's right. Okay. I was wondering what happened with that. Okay. Yes.
He thought, why buy the cow when you were getting the milk for free, but,
Yes, uh-huh.
So in other words, you want me to amend the motion?
I think that's, as long as that's the understanding, it'll be reduced to a resolution, and it'll be resolution 26, I guess, yeah. 2015-26.
that's your motion, Fred?
Yes.
And that's my second. All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, you own my parking lot now, take good care of it. So, we move on to new business then.
Fire.
Oh, that's right, I had that on here, but not here. Yes,
I just wanted to talk to a new truck, 50 or 30.
what time do we get a ride?
That's what we are, we're actually going to be here, but it should be here Thursday.
Wonderful. So how long will that take you before it's actually ready and drivers are trained and,
First training session will be next week on it. There's Rosenbauer is coming down and doing the training. And then from there, depending upon if the hoses come in, the hoses are in after that training session, we can put it in person. And then we'll do more training as we need. They'll come down a few times and train.
so likely by the beginning of next year, it'll be,
So hopefully before that. Well, we, hoses are ordered, those are things, they're just haven't been ready.
well, thank you. Then we can move on to new business, resolution 2015-22. Resolution adopting the 2016 budget and establishing the tax levy Able 2016. We've been through all this at several work sessions and special meetings up to this point. Do we have any comments? Do we have a motion to approve the resolution, or what is your gentleman's pleasure?
I'll make the motion that we approve the resolution.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Then we can move on to resolution 2015-25, resolution committing capital fund balances. And this is a GASB requirement, which we really have no choice but to say, yes, we approve this.
I'm making a motion.
We'll pass, or second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we pass it. Approve transfer of fire department year-end remaining funds to capital fund. And this is another one of those.
Yeah, we did the same
Current
thing last
things.
year and probably previous years.
So do we have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. We're gonna roll right along. 2016 agreement for state building code administration. Another annual renewal of the agreement between City of Canyon and Goodhue County to do residential and commercial business inspections. They've been doing it for us for some time now, and I don't know of any issues or complaints, so we have a motion to approve renewing that agreement.
So moved. Nobody's jumping into the gaps.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have to do it the right way, Richard.
Well, yes, but, you know,
Another annual item, 2016 tobacco license renewals. Approved licenses for municipal liquor store, Motor Mart, River Country Co-op, now Super America. Well, it's still River County Co-op, but it's Super America now rather than Marathon. And Canyon Market. I'll make the motion to approve them and give Richard a break.
We'll second that one then.
Okay,
Okay.
all in favor? Aye. Don't want his motion hand to wear out.
yeah, right.
Approve hire of Megan Murphy, new liquor store bartender / clerk.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Richard. Request for city support of speed limit reduction on Highway 60. You wish to address the council on this matter?
So this has to go through MinDOT.
Yes.
Yeah, they control, well,
We
it's not a city.
can make a
The
request.
city could just send a letter. You know, just ask that it be reviewed for possible reduction.
The question then arises is where would we recommend that the speed limit reduction be made?
From, you mean starting from the city limits? Okay.
Where exactly is the city limits out there? Right here, driving. Okay.
And then there's about 4 or 5 acres west of you, east of you, I think. That was part of the subdivision. But it's right in the general area of your property.
And that would be a logical place, it would seem. So would we need to make a motion to request staff, read Mark, to produce a letter to the DOT, maybe the Owatonna office, presumably.
Either one of them, they typically do a study and, not the easiest.
Could ask for a study or make it part of
Yeah, and probably include that in there and request that any necessary studies be done. Whether they'll do it or not is a difficult thing, to be honest, but certainly it won't start unless there's a request made.
And it would, I'm not sure how much this would matter to MnDOT, but it would seem to me to be logical to include in that letter that this is approaching a steep downhill grade, so having people start to reduce speed earlier should be a safety factor. There have been a few crashes over the years in that area.
Right, and noting that it is the beginning of the city limits going to the west at that point, that would make sense too.
So,
So all of that being included in my motion, I make a motion that we include all of that.
understood. And I'll second your
Inclusion.
inclusion. All in favor? Aye. Congratulations, we'll see what happens. And we come up now to other business, which is only the schedule of upcoming meetings, the public hearing on the new fire hall next Tuesday, December 15th at 5:30 right here, and our next regular council meeting, Tuesday, January 12th. Council and staff general comments. Scott?
Unless I'm coming back to the next meeting, I wish everybody a happy holiday. I mean, the meeting on the 15th, which I'm not really
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
No real need, I wouldn't think.
See, I don't think so. Mark and I haven't
In
talked
fact,
about
it might be safer if you weren't.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you never know. But, no, happy holidays to everybody, and,
And on that note, I've got a question for you after we get done.
okay,
Having nothing to do with this.
good.
Joe?
Nothing, sir. I will be here next week, so I
Yes.
can hold off on my happy holidays until that.
Doug?
I thought that Saturday, Kenyon Day, turned out to be quite interesting. I think it drew a lot of attention, and look forward to being a larger scale next year.
Yes.
It's okay.
I think the weather was a little bit against us because it was so nice that some people probably decided to make a road trip that if we had normal weather for this time of year, they'd have been more likely to stick around here. But still, it was a successful day.
No comment.
I just touched on this with Lee, and maybe Scott can add something, but I've noticed some other cities are starting to work on drone ordinances, and I wonder if it's something that we should be proactive with.
Actually, the City of Faribault had that on their agenda work session just last week. I provided some information. I can give it to Mark so he can distribute it to you. There is a federal task force that's coming down with, or supposed to come down with something by the end of the year. I'm not sure that will really happen. But right now, there have been a lot of arguments made that the FAA controls the airspace and that
Absolutely.
cities should not make ordinances. Notwithstanding the fact there are cities in Minnesota that have made that adoption, my recommendation to Faribault is not doing anything at this point in time until that study is complete and the final regs do come from the federal government on that. I would say that arguably the field is occupied and anything we would try to adopt probably is not going to be valid. Again, there are ordinances out there in the state and elsewhere, but I don't think we probably want to get into that till the study's at least complete.
And
I'm sure some of it could be covered under, like, harassment or...
nuisance.
There are a lot of other
There are
provisions that I
other
recommend you could
ordinances
use,
that could cover
exactly.
this.
You got the harassment, you have nuisance, there's invasion of privacy on a civil side as well. So there are other ways to approach it, but I can give that information to Mark and he can certainly make it available so you can see kind of what's in place. The League of Cities has not really come out with anything significant beyond kind of saying this is in the hopper at this point in time, but nothing's come back yet.
Sounds like the chicken deal. Mark, anything else?
No,
Well, I
So moved.
All for it, yeah. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? All in favor? Aye.
My second jump the gun.
Yeah, you. John seconded.
I've been good mind.
No, you didn't. I think we're all on my side eyeballs. Well, I know when you're.
And now there's another problem. Resistant varieties are losing effectiveness. But with Chloriva Complete BC treatment, a combination of separately registered products, you'll have season-long activity that's lethal to SCN. So once you plant it, you're not only battling these pests, you're taking back your bottom line. Ask your local Syngenta reseller about Chloriva Complete Beans today.
Pounds 100.9. Hey, join Sterling December 10th from 3 p.m. to close today for their Enchanted Evening event. It'll be tons of fun. It includes exclusive coupons, free gourmet samples, raffle prizes, and extra savings on Spin the Wheel, and a chance to win a $200 gift card. Awesome, and you can also receive $10 off on gas. Simply transfer your prescription to Sterling and save. Let me check in with the weather forecast brought to you by Erickson Furniture.
Get comfy with a leather sofa, love seat, chair, or ottoman from Erickson Furniture in Florida. Now only $1,999. Leather chair and ottoman for $299. Lazy Boy reclining sofa just $899. And Stevie Posturepedic queen size closeout starting at $399. It's Black Friday pricing, but these prices are good until they're gone. Only at Erickson Furniture in Florida, the heart of the home in downtown Fairhope.
Today, we're going to have a high of 50 degrees. Hard to believe we're hitting 50 in the middle of December, but hey, we'll take it. Tonight, calling out to 31. Friday, high of 45. Overcast skies can be partly cloudy, but we're also going to see some sun tomorrow for our TGIF